First, here's Pamela with our magazine.
Say we're bringing these taxes in to reduce the deficit, and not one of these taxes has done that. So why should we continue to believe these lies that you've been telling us over these years?
It's no more taxes, period.
Tonight on our program, the tax revolt. A family of 4, both spouses working, earning $40,000 a year, will pay more than $14,000 in taxes, income taxes, GST, sin and property taxes. If that same family earns $60,000, nearly 40% of their income would go to the tax collector. The middle class feels the weight of this country's growing tax burden squarely on its shoulders. So tonight, we examine the middle class tax revolt. We begin with a portrait of one of the many protest groups springing up right across this country. Here's Primetime's Dan Bjornson in Belleville, Ontario, with the story of one man who is fed up.
What's wrong with this picture? Charlie Flynn's 5 restaurants and bars packed them in. They should be a going concern, but Charlie says he's going under. Charlie puts in 16-hour days every day to provide a comfortable life for his wife and 5 kids. But he says he can't even break even. He's under siege. He's being robbed, he'll tell you, by his own government.
When you're a guy that wants to work, able-bodied, looking for a job, and you won't take welfare, you can't get UIC, you don't want to go on welfare, and they tax me so I can't afford to employ you.
Charlie Flynn is now refusing to act as tax collector. He's collecting 0 GST, putting the money instead into a trust fund. And his GST boycott has mushroomed into a fury against any and all new taxes. Paul Martin, he asks, are you listening out there?
Listen to me, I can't pay. I want to survive, I'm working hard, and I can't pay. You'll pay your civil servants $30,000 to go home and do nothing. Why don't you come down and talk to me about my problem? I don't have a big union. I'm not part of a huge financial institution. I'm one ordinary middle-class Canadian that can't pay.
Have you run out of money, or, I mean, it's a nice suit?
Thank you.
You're not broke.
No, but I will be. 3 restaurants within a mile of here are now broke. They closed since January 1st. 40,000 people have been put out of work in this industry alone because of the level of taxation. I visited 5 restaurants this morning. All 5 of them are going to be shut down by the government. If I allow this to continue, or if we do, we're going to shut down, just like everybody else. I will go broke.
What began as a private battle has since grown into Charlie's war. And the command post is in sort of a bunker in the basement underneath one of Charlie's restaurants. And through that door there lies Charlie's war room.
Good afternoon, Fed Up Hotline.
It's here Charlie plots grand strategy. This is the nerve center for his guerrilla army. Fed Up, it's called. The foot soldiers are mostly volunteers from his restaurants, battalions in this ragtag crusade of enthusiastic amateurs.
Gotten signatures galore from all the local businesses. And
Charlie claims that thousands have signed his anti-tax petitions, that he's been contacted by every major political party, and his 1-800 hotline has been flooded with calls.
We have to get people to write letters and fax.
And you can see all the citizens who are lined up. Good morning, you're on Talk Line.
Suddenly, everyone wants to talk to Charlie.
I hope you'll let me get this out before I explode. I'm just as angry as Charlie Flynn is. I think they just still don't get it. When they tax the middle class into oblivion, which is imminent at the rate they're going, who's going to buy the goods and services?
Good morning, you're on the air.
Charles, this is for you. Thank God that there's finally someone who has some guts.
Thank you.
Charlie can find no one, what a surprise, who's against his demand for a tax freeze. His rebellion is building up steam. What Charlie needs now is packed rallies. In his pursuit of support, Charlie's life has become life on the road.
Hello, Charlie.
Today, he's heading for a hotel in Hamilton, Ontario, to give a pep talk to a small group of disciples.
You saw the T-shirts we have made up?
does this
He
stuff.
did. Hit the road tax. Did you read it? Hit the road tax? We ain't gonna pay no more, no more. Get fed up.
See that pocket? It's only so deep. And once it's empty, there ain't no more. And that's it. And the sooner that they smarten up, the better off we're gonna be.
Precisely the type Flynn sees as good recruit material that he hopes to lure to a rally in Belleville, Ontario later in the week. This is precisely the sort of fury Flynn wants his workers to tap into.
Did you called Frank? Yeah, Troy's there's gonna be 20 people in the offices? There's a hell of a lot of fed up people out there. Basically, is there anybody you've been to? Anybody you visited? Anybody the other guys visited yet that has turned us away? Not one. No, basically we're gonna make sure they show up. We're gonna hit one side of Trenton tomorrow. We're gonna hit the other side of Trenton. Every single person. Thanks for sending the package. I'd love it if someone could come. Thank you. Hi, how you guys doing today? I'm Charlie Flynn.
Thank you.
Erstwhile tax protester.
Oh.
Hey, listen, you guys are gonna inherit a great big debt. You know that, eh? You owe $26,000, sweetheart. Can we have a check? How you doing today? I'm Charlie Flynn.
Charlie, tonight at this rally, what kind of people are going to be there? What are you expecting?
I expect a lot of angry, fed-up people from across the Quinte region. I expect the whole spectrum of Canadians that are just plainly fed up.
What really drives you nuts, though? Would you mind high taxes if you felt it meant high efficiency in government or a return for the buck?
Not in the least. I don't mind paying taxes. I don't mind if I'm working for free for a year. I don't mind if I'm getting slowly behind in my bills for a year to keep my taxes paid if they were accomplishing something. But we've put our taxes up, we've taken our lumps, we've kept our mouths shut. We don't believe them anymore, and there's no reason to believe them. If we did, I think we'd be irresponsible.
Excuse me, but the people in Ottawa aren't idiots. How come you have the answer and they don't?
They aren't idiots, but I think once they get there, they become Ottawa-sized. I mean, Jean Chrétien and Paul Martin do not have dinner with you or me or ordinary Canadians. They have dinner with the president of the Bank of Montreal or the president of RBC Dominion Securities, and those people have their ear. You and I don't.
At last, the night of his Belleville rally. All those days on the road and hours on the phone, all that glad-handing on all those main streets, it all comes down to what happens tonight. Nearly 100 people turn up on a cold winter's evening. Mostly they're professionals or owners of small businesses.
The first thing they're going to say, well, Charlie Flynn sounds great, but we got to cut our social programs. I don't get it. In 1970, when this lunacy started, we had UIC, we had national health care. As a matter of fact, it's better than it is today. We had welfare, yeah, and we had, you guessed it, no deficit. How did we afford it then?
But the people that are paying the bill are living on less, significantly less. I think there's a lot of people that would be ashamed to say what they're making on the private side. They're ashamed of it.
I'm not, zero.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing. But the public sector side is totally insulated, completely cut off from the ramifications of this recession and everything. They just live in a patrician class.
I mean, as much as some of these politicians would like to get rid of these people, these bureaucrats are so entrenched that how do you get rid of them? What do you do?
You know what the problem with the government is? Common sense is illegal.
What happens now?
What happens now is I continue on to Picton, Kingston, Montreal, anywhere else, Ottawa, London, Hamilton, and talk to people in every single place. I'm going to arrange for people to get buses, arrange for rallies, so that we can be on Parliament Hill the day of the budget, and we can let Mr. Martin know we're damn serious. Not one new cent in taxation. That's the message. That's what we said from the beginning. That message is not going to change.
For Primetime News, I'm Dan B. Arneson.
So, is the Canadian middle class really overtaxed? Is Charlie Flynn just whining, or is he waging war? In a moment, that debate. But first, Donna Dasco, a vice president of Environics Research, a polling firm which has been plumbing the depths of this public protest. Well, Donna,